Welcome. The beauty of that happy little accident is that you saw none of that. But welcome.
It was really
Hi.
good, though.
It was really
It
good.
was the best
I mean-
intro we've ever done.
Exactly. So good, in fact, that I'll really quickly do it again. Hi, my name is DM Dan. I'm joined by Livy, Georgia, Theo, and Tim. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And yeah, we are here to play the 6th session of our Daggerheart campaign. A little bit of echo. Okay, let us know if it keeps coming back, Yoj. Yeah, we're here to play some Daggerheart. We left episode 5 on a bit of a cliffhanger, you could say.
Literally.
Little bit. But yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine when we jump straight back into it. Yes, just before we kick things off, some real quick announcements. The Crit Awards, which are an annual kind of tabletop RPG celebration competition thing, we are finalists in the Best Daggerheart GM category for Tales from Elsewhere, which is pretty much everyone here that you see on screen was part of that. Yeah, I'm blown away that we are finalists, but the voting for that concludes at 5 p.m. PST, which is some point in the near future if you're watching this live. So if you're enjoying this, you can find the link to the Crit Award kind of voting form in the description. You get 1 vote per category. I believe we're category 20, something around that. So yeah, if you're enjoying what we do, then please consider giving us a little votey vote, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see how many votes we got. Also, hello to Joe over in Twitch and to Hungry Dragons over in YouTube. Thank you, both of you, for joining our Discord recently. We have a Discord where we want to be getting a little bit nerdy with all the stuff elsewhere related. We've already hosted our first kind of members behind the scenes, where 4 of us got together and discussed the campaign up until episode 5. And gave some thoughts and suspicions and theories and whatnot. And yes, if you want to kind of see stuff like that or more kind of general elsewhere stuff, whether it's art or extra little tidbits or anything like that, consider joining the Discord. That's also in the description. If you join as a member on YouTube or as a patron on Patreon, then you will also get access to the members only kind of content, including kind of early release and like a private chat room and so on and so forth. Right, I've yabbered. You lot are currently basking in the shadow of some gods. Who wants to jump back into it?
Let's do it.
Sounds lovely. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hello, I'm Nate, and I'll be playing Griffin, a Sangvar bard.
Hi, I'm Livy, and I'm playing Abe, the Guardian Keeper.
Hello, my name is Theo, and I'll be playing Cooper, Dragon Senate Rogue.
Hi, my name is Georgia, and I'll be playing Cassandra, an Ace-of-Our sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Tim, and I'm playing Guardi, Majani Druid.
And my name is DM Dan, the Games Master in this adventure. The people of Rice Vilnar have many stories of the 2 world spirits, Pfizer and Burunan. Known to them as the Titans, the world spirits have been honoured and worshipped as guardians of the people of Rice Vilnar for as long as they can remember. when the War of Dragons caused the cataclysmic eschaton to wreak havoc upon the world. Pfizer and Burunan emerged to defend the land against the violent arcane energies unleashed by Akan and his brood, showing themselves to the keepers who worship them for the first time. Pfizer and Burunan have now revealed themselves again, at the heart of a magical storm that threatens to devastate the Titan Isles. But whereas before they fought alongside one another, now their enmity has turned against one another. The world's spirits once fought and overcame gods. What hope do mortals have in the face of such widespread destruction? And so, apparently we've have we got? Can someone check on YouTube, see if we've got double audio in YouTube? I don't think we do. Just before we go on, otherwise we'll drive everyone in Twitch mad. Oh, hang on, I can't hear anyone. Oh no, this is a problem.
Sorry, no, it's my fault.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
You scared the Jesus out of me.
No, I was going to say, I think you're fine. I think the rest of us are echoing.
The rest of you all are echoey. You did for the Emery, yes, on YouTube. Okay. Trying to think where that's happening from. Okay, hold. Hang on, let's put on some. I haven't got any bossa nova. Just let's put on some hopeful music. That will spur me to. So you can hear. Oh, I think I might know. Hold. I think I know what's done it.
Which of us is
Okay.
it?
I mean, I'm in an echoey room. That doesn't help matters.
Okay. YouTube and Twitch. Does that happen? Is it still echoing?
Is it better or worse, guys? Do we sound any better or worse? Do let us know.
Echo on Theo and Georgia mostly.
Okay.
Mostly A.
I know Theo's we're both in echoey rooms.
But we've been in echoey rooms. So
Oh, it seems to be fixed now according to Twitch. It's better now.
it's better now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yay.
Are we good? We good?
Cool.
I apologise. The hopeful music wasn't actually turned up, so you missed out on the hopeful music. I could hear it. And it helped. Okay, it helped. Right. With that in mind, thank you everyone. Impromptu sound engineering. We find the five of you on the first of 3 or 4 large kind of stones. They look like large stone stalagmites jutting from the ground with flat tops, like flat kind of plateau-like tops. The one you're currently stood on is the smallest of those in front, like arrayed around you in this forested area. You are approximately 15 feet above the ground, and you are next to a wooden bridge that leads up to the next standing stone that rises approximately 30 feet up, so it's a relatively steep, angled bridge. Around you, just behind you is the scorch marks lining the floor of a wall of flame, courtesy of Griffin, that has just been put out. The tree to your left has been sundered in two from the force of a wheeled walker blown away by Cassandra in a desperate bid to try and save Griffin, who had been captured by it. And there are kind of bits of plant life that were once living triffids scattered around you. To your over the canopy, off to the far left, sort of like the northwestern corner from you, you can see these 2 behemoth-sized creatures One, a large, burning, bird-like creature engaged in a devastating duel with this kind of ice crystal made mantis-like draconic type creature. And as the two creatures screech at each other as they brawl, the ground underfoot shakes with the thunderous impact of Pfizer's footsteps as she fights with Burunan. Gardy, just to give you a reminder, the reason that you've been sent here, well, the reason that you've all decided to come here is that at the top of the Standing Stones is a shrine with an artifact that will allow you to commune with the world spirits, the two titans, and it would seem that time is very much of the essence as these two duke it out.
I don't know. They seem pretty busy.
I feel like I'd be interrupting.
Yeah, I think they'll get on a conference call and just have both of them on.
So, with that all in mind, I'm going to return the five of you into a combat-ready state.
Combat ready?
What? I don't need that for a phone call, Dan.
What are we fighting?
As you know that you need to carry on on your journey up to the top of the Standing Stones.
Mm-hmm. Gonna fight those stones.
Who's leading the way?
Abe's happy to.
Okey
He's happy to
dokey.
get. How
Okay.
rickety is this bridge?
It was built by the residents of Rice Vilnar, so it's
You'd
sturdy
hope
enough
it could
to
take a keeper. Yeah.
sturdy enough to hold a
Fabulous.
keeper. That is for sure.
There's one thing we know about bridges is that Daddy Go can get across them first.
Exactly.
Yes.
According to
Exactly. So
According
if,
to law.
legend.
if Abe's leading the charge, who's going in second? And then they will just
Cass
have.
will be hot at his heels, I think.
Okay. So Cass, you move in behind, and then
Yeah, I'm
Guardian.
gone.
Yeah, Guardian, Cooper, and then Griffin all hunker down in the back. Abe, as you make your way across the bridge, please make me a reaction instinct roll, please.
Reaction instinct.
Yeah.
Yes,
and also,
sir.
while Abe's doing that, remember if to recharge any once per session abilities. So unleash chaos for Cass. Griffin shouts words of affirmation to the four of you, and everyone's going to have a new rally dice to use over the space of this evening. You've rolled a 14. Okay, so Abe, as you lead the charge across this wooden bridge, you see the bushes either side of the Standing Stone as you climb up like another 15 feet. The bushes rattle, and from the foliage spring another 7 triffids.
Oh, that's loads.
You also, with a 14 with fear, no, it doesn't matter. So you also see, following behind the triffids, from another one of the bushes, another creature kind of lopes out, and that looks something like
Don't like the sound
one
of loping.
of these.
Ooh.
So relatively a small-ish, it's like slightly smaller than a standard Lorivar or Acevar in size, but a very kind of thin, gangly gait, with this kind of with a face almost a face that looks like it belongs to an old woman, with sort of like mossy, viney like hair coming, streaming over her shoulders. But what you notice is that in lieu of hands, she appears to have these long, kind of whip-like tentacle-like arms, like plant tentacles. And as she peers at you with these kind of bright orange eyes, she lets out a chittering noise to the Triffids. Abe, you are in the front, so we'll give you the spotlight. Bear in mind, like for everyone else, bear in mind if you want to take your turn, make sure to hit the macro, and then we'll kind of loop you in for that. So, what's Abe doing?
And he's going to thwack the closest Triffid to him. I mean, let's be honest. He's going to slice through this guy here.
Okie dokie.
So let me roll my dice. Oh, sorry, that was a damage roll. I don't know why.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, 24. That's a 24 to hit.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Oh, yes. Suffice to say, a 24 does hit. While you roll the damage, I'll give you a hope. So you're now up to 6. 15 damage, eh?
15 damage plus my horns, 2.
Okay,
17.
so we deduct a hope off you. Back down to 5, so 17 damage. Describe to me how your axe scythes through 2 of these Triffids.
So he's going for sort of a low, he's done weeding. He's an old man. He knows how to weed a garden. So he's going to scythe through bottom of their legs. So like straight through, going to scythe all the bottom out, and then headbutt them. It's like a
lean down and headbutt.
And then
as
as one sort of flies up for the impact, he just nuts it on the top of it on its flowery little Triffid head.
Amazing. Okay, so you donk that Triffid as you scythe through the second. You've spent hope very good. We'll chuck the spotlight over to Gardy.
As Cass starts to stride forward, I'll just put my hand on her shoulder and like, careful out there, you've got this. And I'll press into your hand a carved piece of something that looks like it could be bone, it could be shell, that's in the shape of like what looks like maybe a stylized llama's head. And I will use Where are you? My God, where are you? There we are. Rune Ward. You're Rune Warded. The holder can spend a hope to reduce incoming damage by 1d8. If it's an 8, then the effect ends. So try to roll 7s, I recommend.
Thank you.
So
he says he puts it in your hand. Try to roll 7s.
Okay, so who's warded? Sorry, is it?
Cass is warded.
Cass. Okay, so we'll put a
I have a
little.
llama's head.
We'll put a little shield
Jealous.
icon on you to remind us that we've got the shield ward.
How-
Amazing.
How far down is this?
So Abe, that there is probably about 15 feet. So currently just slightly below you because you're already on the upward incline towards the next standing stone. So should
Cool. I'm going to try and make a jump to it, I think.
Okay. I would add that is then a 15-foot climb up to from here to here is a 15-foot climb.
That does seem more difficult, to be fair.
Yes. Yeah, Abe is currently about
Problematic.
30 feet in the above ground.
All right, that's fine. I'll just hang out where I am.
I'll just walk.
To be honest, I'll just stay here and hope for the best.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
I'll take a shot.
Yeah. Okay, go, Gas, go.
I feel like this thing that Gardy's pressed into my hand is probably the nicest thing anyone's given Cass in quite a long time. Which is probably a bit slightly can't remember what the word is, just a little bit shocked by it very briefly before she turns her attention back to these triffids, and she draws her pistol, and she's going to take aim at this. Is it Gilly who? Gilly do?
So you roll me a reaction knowledge check.
Knowledge. Where's my knowledge? There it is. That is an 11 with fear.
Okay, so we won't need to worry about the fear, but an 11. You aren't entirely sure what it is off the back of an 11. It's clear that it is some sort of like primal / nature aligned elemental like creature.
I mean, on a track record, most of nature has attacked us since we've got on this island, so I've got pretty good.
This is true, yeah. You can certainly make some assumptions. But yeah, you're not, like, off the back of 11, you're not 100% sure what this creature is capable of as she just sort of, like, lopes out and starts chittering to the triffids.
Cass is going to aim alimony at her.
Yes, okay.
So is it just...
Crit.
Oh, that's a damage roll rather than a...
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, cool.
You have crit. So if you... I'll add your hope if you want to roll the damage.
Oh, that's done.
So with the extra damage, that is 26 in total. Cass, describe to me what this looks like real quick.
It's just a clear headshot. The sort of the light in the gun blazes blue. Briefly, there's like a crackle of lightning. I imagine lost in the storm that's currently surrounding us. And Cass just kind of pops out behind Abe and takes the shot.
Yeah, well,
Fueled by friendship.
So as Abe kind of steps out the way and this bolt of electric kind of lightning charge mana blasts through the air, it strikes the ghillie doo between the eyes for severe damage and one taps her.
Nice.
just like she lopes out, just
maniac.
And then there's just a U-shaped hole in the center of her head. Like it's like she's a tree that has been struck by a bolt of lightning.
Yeah.
And she wails for a little bit of the.
Nothing is stopping Cass from getting Gaddy up this hill.
Yeah.
Just
she wants to talk to her god.
Absolutely collapses. Right, the ghillie doo is no longer in the initiative. Very good. Would you like to move, Cass?
Yeah, Cass. Well, she would have moved forward to take the shot, so she's just behind Abe.
Okay. Is anyone else ready to take a turn?
I'm always.
Livy is ready.
Go Theo. Theo, if you want to go. Go Theo.
No, I was going to say, it's more of a reaction to the shot, really. Is Gaddy still stood near us, or have you moved on, Gaddy? Or am I just talking to... either way, this shot happens. I'm imagining Gaddy and Griffin are still by Cooper, and Cooper kind of like picks up his jaw from the floor. It's just like, I taught her everything she knows. Everything.
Celeste.
I know. And then I think he's going to try and do a crossbow bolt at the Triffid in front of Abe.
Okay.
Ooh, it'll be really embarrassing if you miss this.
I know. I'm hoping he does for hilarity. So yeah, let's try this.
Might do.
14 with hope.
14 with hope is a hit. So if you roll the damage, I'll add your hope. So you're up to 4. 10. And you get sneak attack because someone's in melee?
Yes, I do. Oh, lovely.
So
I'll do sneak attack as well. So that's 14.
14. Okay. You... Okay. You're... Like, as Abe is kind of brawling with two of these Triffids, your bolt fires through, skewers one, and skewers a second as Abe is swarmed by these creatures. Very good. Are you looking to move?
Yeah, I'll move a little bit. I'll get just behind Cass, so I'm following her. Like, it's just like, don't want to like jump scare her and then she shoots me by mistake. So yeah.
Abe's little line of ducklings behind him.
Yes.
Mummy gives Abe at the
By the
front.
mat.
Okay, in which case I will spend a fear because you guys keep on rolling with hope. So, Abe, as you're fending off these triffids, like two of them, like one's the tree lady looking thing has just been blasted apart by Cass. You've seen a crossbow bolt skewer two of these plant creatures like a shish kebab. But the three that are remaining, they will. So they decide to surge you with a group attack. I've rolled a crit.
That's not a crit.
That's a crit. That's a crit. So as
That's
the three of them pile onto you, like onto your back, they will do. You've locked out because crits only give me maximum dice rolls, and I don't actually roll dice. But these three kind of scratch and bite and claw into you for a combined total of 15 damage.
15?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna have to take 1 hit point.
Oh my
goodness. My
Devastating.
goodness. Devastating.
Absolutely devastating.
Okay, so it's 1 armor slot. Oi.
Okay. Livy, you have a ready status. So, what do you want to do in response?
I'm gonna weed these planties. I was gonna say something else, but I won't swear. It's not 9. I'm gonna weed these little planties here.
Okie dokie.
Let's roll for damage. Oh, that was nearly a crit.
Whoa. 27
47.
with hope. That is a hit. I'll add your hope for you.
Thank you very much. Let's do a damage roll. And I'll use that hope for horns. Oh,
Okay, I'll take the hope back off you. Okay, so you managed to catch 2 of the triffids in your mad kind of flurry.
yeah, I imagine they're all just climbing up and he's just...
Yeah, just
Not even using his axe.
grab
just
one, stick it on your horn. Okay, so with all that, there appears to be one last triffid, like clung to Abe's back. Who's ready to take a turn?
He's so big he can't get
Tim
it.
is
He's
ready.
just trying to
I'll
get this behind him.
give it a little shot. Yeah, just gonna wander up and like just try and sort of gently blast it.
But not me! Not me!
We'll see.
No firewall! I don't want no firewall!
Phew.
Oh, you privately rolled some dice.
Okay.
You feel like that's not the right thing to roll. Let me roll
No,
one.
that looked right.
I just need to get the damage roll out.
Are they coming up privately?
Oh, I see.
They're coming out privately for us, so that looks really
I want to know what
nice.
Tim's rolling.
Tim, what are you rolling?
Privately.
Oh, I think. Hang on.
Is he rolling
hang
for Kiss?
Hang on.
Oh,
Hang
you've
on.
got-
Hang on.
Yeah, I see
hang
what's
on.
happened.
All
There
right.
we go. Now it's
There we
public. There we go.
Sweet.
Right.
Brilliant. Love
So
that.
we'll take that one because it is public. A 19 with hope.
Very kind. Okay.
I will add your hope on for you.
Nice.
Don't worry, I've got an add hope button.
I've tick shot to 1.
Yeah.
15 damage. Okay, you absolutely. What does this? What does your ranged attack with your short staff look like?
It's just a good old-fashioned crackling beam of green energy, I think.
Okay.
Traditional.
In which case, Abe, yeah, you managed to duck out the way. Well, you don't have to duck out the way much, as Guardy's aim is pretty true, and it strikes the Triffid off your back. leaving you all kind of free on this plateau on the second standing stone. As you gather yourselves, you can see that up ahead there is a small staircase. There appears to be like a small staircase down slightly before it hits another bridge that carries you up to the next standing stone. So who's leading the way by the time you get to the stone steps leading down?
Don't fix what's not broken, man. Abe going ahead makes sense.
I will keep
Strategy-wise.
Yeah.
Strategy-wise, put the tank in the front.
Let the tank go
see,
first.
I see what's going on.
We love you, Abe.
We love you, Abe. We're going to be over here.
Which case, I'm going to... so, Abe, as you start moving forward and you get to those stone steps, I'm going to spend a fear and...
Hi.
So I'm going to spend the fear to take the spotlight onto myself. I will then spend another fear, dropping me down to 3, to then activate the monster that needs an additional fear. And Abe, does a 9 hit you?
Beats it. Beats it.
Beats it. Yeah.
9. Yeah.
Okay. Is your armor 9 or 10?
Oh, my evasion is 9.
Your evasion, sorry. Okay. In which case,
It might be on my character sheet. Actually. I might be looking at the wrong sheet. But yeah.
Griffin's gonna run up with you. So you, as you're sort of like about to descend down the steps, the other 4 of you that are sort of like doing your best to keep up with Abe, who's kind of galloping on ahead, you watch as this dark shadow emerges from the top of the next standing stone, and with like accidental accuracy, this large boulder collides into Abe as he's going down the steps. So I'll mark a stress in a moment. Actually, yeah, it would just be Abe. So Abe, you take...
Oh boy.
14 damage. However, the attacks are direct damage. So that is an unmitigatable 14 damage.
So that's the whole point of Abe. All damage is mitigated.
Mitigate it with your abs.
Abe's abs.
And I will add that combatant to the fight. And Abe, like as you are rocked by this hurled boulder, as you look up, you can see that coming across the bridge in front of you is another 5 Triffids. You can't quite see whatever it is that's throwing the boulders from the next step. You're not high enough, but you know that by the time you get to sort of like where the Triffid are, pretty much, you will have enough height that you will be able to see your assailant. But yeah, it seems that whatever is up there is currently yeeting boulders at you at range.
Yes. Okay.
So who's ready?
I mean, I'm more than happy to fling myself into these Triffids. Abe will charge the Triffids, and as he goes, I think he'll turn to everyone and go, "Someone's throwing rocks!"
Yeah, you say to the 4 people that just watch you get twatted by a rock.
Some scallywags are throwing rocks off the bridge. This neighborhood's gone to shit. Right. I can't. I'm locked. Why am I locked? I'm locked. I'm locked.
I will say.
You might be blocked by the tiny bit of the stairs.
So you are currently there, Abe. If you move too close, I am going to need an agility check for you to get to the Triffids quick enough under the barrage of like hurl boulders, the storm's shaking you about. Yeah, just a quick agility check.
That's all right. I have I'm Ridgeborn, so
Cool.
can I have advantage on traversing dangerous cliffs, ledges, and harsh environments?
I think this absolutely
Please.
applies in this instance.
So we carry agility with advantage. It's a 13.
Okay, yeah, that is fine. You will give you the hope, and then that will give you enough to get into melee range.
Fabulous.
That is a crit. Okay. If you roll for your damage.
And my damage.
28. Okay. So hang on. Cool. Abe.
Yeah.
Describe to me how you bowl over all 5 of these triffids.
Okay, so he comes, he's running, and he's like bull running, and he just runs into them. 2 of them just fling themselves off the bridge as he just collides in, and then one large sweep across all of the legs, roots of the rest of them, and yeah, one of them he just slices in half, catches it, and throws it off the cliff. The rest of it, he goes, "Who's throwing rocks?"
From where you are, can you see what is throwing?
I can't see who's throwing rocks.
Can't see you throwing rocks. You interesting. Okay, I'll figure that out in a sec. Okay, so yeah,
but it's hoodies, hoodlums.
Yes, hoodlums. You rolled a crit. So if you've got stress, you can reduce that. We'll pass the spotlight over to Theo, who is ready. Go, Theo, go.
I mean, I was going to help with the triffids, but instead, Cooper's watched Abe decimate them, and it's like, note to self, do not piss off Abe. And then just runs to join him, basically, so that he can be behind him.
If they were throwing rocks, could Abe know where the rocks are? Can he see where it's coming from?
So
Cooper runs up. I can give him general directions.
So hang on, let me think. The walls have gone a bit squiffy. Ooh. Hang on. Hold. Just gonna make these site restriction none.
Whoa.
Okay, so
don't see it now.
You can see it now. Theo, real quick, if you want to kind of sprint off to catch up with Abe under the artillery barrage of kind of boulders and the storm and the slipperiness, I will also need an agility check, otherwise we'll cap you at short distance.
Okay. I'm just double checking I haven't got anything that helps you with that.
While you're checking that, Abe, as you kind of clear the bridge of the triffids, you look up and there's like a large, on the standing stone up ahead, you can see like another kind of jutting rock that emerges from it. So approximately kind of 50 feet up. And there's a moment where you're wondering if the lighting, like the purple lightning overhead and like the flashes of light from Burunan and fires of fighting in the background, if that's kind of confusing your eyesight slightly, but it almost looks like the rock itself is moving. And that's when you notice like it lean back and a hulking great 12-foot tall earth elemental rears up as it pulls a chunk of the ground out of the standing stone in preparation to throw another one.
He's snatched, tiny waist, big thighs. Look at that guy.
Oh yes,
he is.
Sorry, go for it. Go.
Yeah. So my agility check does something that affects that. However, can I please activate my rogue hope, please, which is spend 3 hope to gain 2+ bonus to my evasion until the next time attack as soon as to hit me.
You can indeed.
I think
She'll
that's
bring up my
sensible when
evasion.
rocks are being
19. Yeah, so my evasion goes up to 19. So
Okay.
hopefully that helps for a bit. But yeah, other than that, it's a normal roll for me to get
I'll
up.
spend your hope for you. That drops you down to 1.
Why have I got a critical set? Why have I got a critical success to run up to 8?
Well,
Just-
I mean, good news.
I
is you
just,
get-
I'm not going to get hit, so...
Tom
You
Cruise
don't-
run up there.
you're sprinting so well, you reduce your stress.
It's like
if you had it.
parkour.
Well, I think it probably has to.
There
be,
is a
yeah.
bit parkour, yeah.
Unnecessary parkour, just doing a barrel roll, doing a flip.
I mean,
Yeah.
if there are potential boulders and storm and stuff, then it does feel like
People watching.
Yeah, people are
People
watching.
watching.
Okay, so who? Tim is ready. What's Guardy doing?
I'm just going to move forward.
So you can move to close
Okay.
normally, agility roll if you want
Yes.
to go further.
Eh. Okay. I'll place an eye to this fellow. Far. Can I see it as well, or do I need to get forward for that?
I think you probably can now. Yeah, it's looming and it's holding a large boulder over its head.
Lovely. Alright, I'm going to try and take control of the vines in its body and lash them together so that it cannot move.
Ooh.
Using vicious entangle. Vicious entangle. Yeah.
Nice.
A
19.
19 with hope. Yeah, that hits if you want to pop your hope up. And what's the 8? What's the damage?
1d8 plus 1, and then it's temporarily restrained.
Okay,
Like that.
so it is restrained.
6 incredible damage.
Okay, that is suffice to say minor, but that is still damage. It takes 1 hit point as you as the vines that are comprising its mass start sort of being pulled by your energies, by your magics. They what are there sort of like other vines springing up from the ground, just kind of leash into the vines that are making it up, or are you pulling?
I think they're leashing down into
They're
the
leashing
ground
down.
from it.
Okay, very very good. Okay, in which
Easy
case,
there, big fella.
in which case it's stuck, and as it looks around in this oafish kind of way, as its vines start impacting into the ground like tent lines. Amazing. Anything? Who? Right. Is Cass ready? Cass ready for a go?
Yeah, I think so. Cass will sort of seeing this lull slightly in the fighting, and again probably feeling a bit spurred on by what Gaddy did earlier. She will run to where Abe is.
Okay. So that'll be an agility to get agility check to get that far. Because yeah, that'll be far. But yeah, you can catch up with Abe and Cooper on this agility check.
That's a 17 with hope.
That is absolutely fine.
And yeah, just as these vines kind of impact into the earth, she will take from around her neck this necklace that comprises of sort of a single sapphire-like jewel, and she will press it into Abe's hand, and she will also cast Rune Ward. So Abe now has another Rune Ward. Now has
Reward friends.
yeah.
You know we're giving gifts. Abe hasn't got anything.
Okay, so the two of you are now both rune warded. Very, very good.
Did Abe just look, what? What is? Oh, you don't
Keep
think
it
that's gonna fit?
Uh,
A choker.
So, who's going next? The earth elemental is currently leashed to its spot, so it can't move, but it is still holding this large boulder over its head in a somewhat intimidating manner.
Come on, Theo.
Okay, I'll fire at it with my crossbow.
So you've got range attacks.
Yeah. I don't think I can count as hidden if it can see me on the bridge, right? And we're not in melee with it, just to check.
Yeah.
So it'll just be a normal attack. It'll be good
You're
to see.
behind me.
We did that. That's fair. I am behind Abe. Abe is much taller than me. That would count as hidden.
Basically a tree. A walking tree.
Daniel,
Slade,
is that
carefully,
okay?
Dan. You'll have to do this every combat forever.
I mean, I think it says in the rules anyway about hiding
It is in the
behind someone.
rules. If you're behind
Yeah.
Abe, you get
Go
stealth.
on then. Go on then.
We'll see if we hit first before I get too excited about sneak attack. So that's a 15 to hit with hope.
15 to hit with hope is a hit.
Wow, fantastic.
The crossbow
So-
strikes its rocky hide. Remember to hit the ready macro if you're ready to take your turn next.
So that's 13, and then the sneak attack damage is 9. Yeah, so that's a good 22.
24? 22, correct.
Yeah.
Okay, that is... So, where do you imagine that this crossbow bolt strikes it on it to do major damage?
Something like as well. Maybe like towards, like, do they look like it? Does it look like it visibly has eyes?
It doesn't. That's the
Yeah, so-
worrying thing about it. Like this large rock. If you've played Tears of the Kingdom, I'm picturing this almost as a Talos. So body. and
I'm
head.
getting the rock god in Galaxy Quest, but with vines. If anyone's seen that film.
Yeah, not far off.
In that case, like is he like still trying to hold a boulder up?
He's still currently
While
holding a
being
boulder
restrained?
over his head. Yeah.
Can I have it so like he shoots at his hand, so he drops the boulder on himself,
Sure.
or something like that?
Yeah, in which case you break away like 2 of his quote unquote fingers, and like you watch as it sort of like the piece of standing stone that's ripped out the ground kind of falls and collides into its form, and it rocks under the weight of the boulder it's just dropped on itself. But do you want to move real quick?
I'm trying to decide if it's safer for me to continue to stand behind Abe, or if I should move closer, because I'm range anyway, so I might not be.
Abe is not, so
useful.
Abe will not be staying where he is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
In that
You're
case,
you're also over like a 40-foot precipice right now.
Yeah,
Sure.
I want to get off the bridge.
I'm gonna move to this part of the bridge.
Okay. So as
So I'm
you,
off the bridge now.
Cooper, as you fire this crossbow and then kind of bolt to get off the bridge to like safe, safer ground, like more solid ground. The earth elemental lets out this rumbling roar, and it seems like it's trying to, like, as the rock kind of bounces off its like main torso bulk, it almost like shakes itself and then lets out this gravelly growl, and then seemingly tries to surge towards you, but then Gardy, you have to like concentrate a bit more, and the vines that you've kind of pegged it into the ground with, they pull tight and it holds this creature, but you can feel this incredible unnatural strength as it tries to go on a bit of a rampage towards Cooper. But yeah, it's held in place. And Cooper, you are acutely aware that this thing has a rampaging fury.
Sure.
Next up is Livy. Go, Livy, go.
Can Abe get within it's far range? Can I get there?
It will be an agility check to get there.
That's fine. I mean, it's what I need to do. once again, I have advantage in hazardous terrain. Agility advantage. So 23.
The 23 will get you there.
Fabulous.
So you're
I'm gonna
able
get
to
right up in his grill.
move it back. There you are. So yeah, you're able to get up into melee with it. You can scale up that bit of rock onto the small kind of ledge that it is stood on. I will just real quick take my fear. But what would you like to do now you are here?
Take a fear. I would like to hit him, please.
Okay.
I would like to hit for 16 hit. 16?
16 is a hit.
Fabulous. I would like to use, I don't know how this would happen. So I have versatile fighter ability, which means I can mark a stress to use maximum of one of my dices.
Okay.
So one will be.
So if you do the dice roll, and then I'll just count the first roll as 8
Okay.
instead of whatever it should be. So instead of 2, it's so it's 14 plus 3, 17.
17, and I would like to hit him with my face. Please.
So 17, 22 damage.
22 damage.
22 damage is major damage. It takes another 2 hit points.
How tall is he? Is he headbuttable in the head?
I mean, the thing is, he doesn't really have a head. Now that you're up close, now that your token physically is up close, you can see what you're looking at, and it's really just an amalgam of rocks and vines and.
I just headbutt the nearest thing to a head.
Yeah, where its head should be.
Yeah.
Just the top.
Just the top of.
Okay, so you headbutt it, and you like. Cooper, how do you feel watching this keeper headbutt an earth elemental with such ferocity that the stonework cracks?
I mean, again, we're not cross Abe ever. Don't care. Not cross him. Not crossing him at all. Yeah, a bit like Jesus. Don't cross him.
I will. So, Abe, as you nut this earth elemental square in the torso, you are able to, like, as you kind of step back and shake your head because there's suddenly like this pounding sensation on your forehead. You notice like the earth elemental rocks back and then lets out this roar, and you see like bits of fragmented stone fall off its bodywork as it reverberates. And like if it could display the emotion of outright rage, that's what it would be displaying as it attempts to rampage against you. But Garda, you once again manage to hold it tight, and as it tries to effectively bulldoze through you, Abe, it's held back. What it does do, however, as it switches over to me, I'm now going to spend a fear to be able to activate it, and it's going to take a swipe at oh, you lucky devil, Cooper.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
It, like, Abe, as you step back and it rages against these vines that are holding it back, it leans back, lets out this effective like war cry, lifts its 2 hands up, and Cooper, you watch as Abe disappears under these 2 boulder-like fists that come crashing down. Abe, you take 8 12, 24 unmitigatable damage.
Reward.
I don't, because once per short rest, I can scramble out of melee range. Thank you very much, sir.
Is it a reaction?
Yeah, scramble. Once per rest, a creature within melee range will deal damage to you. You can avoid the attack and safely move out of melee range.
That's good scrambling.
In which case,
I'm a little goat boy. I'm a
Cooper,
large goat boy.
as you watch Abe just disappear under these two fists, like rock fists that visibly crack, like sunder the plateau that it stood on. I can only realistically, Abe, the only place you can go is through its legs, like a little stop, drop, and roll. Through its legs, and like as it lifts its hands up, Cooper, Abe is gone. He's been reduced to paste. Like he is no more.
Abe! like genuine reaction of like, holy.
Just the dust clearing.
It's to the sound of Abe. He just like goes around the side of him. You're right.
Give me a heart attack, man!
Oh, you learned that one.
Amazing. Okay, so as the Earth Elemental attempts to swing at Abe, we will. So that was the Elemental. We now switch over to Gardy. What's Gardy up to?
So I'm gonna jog along the bridge, shooting him with my lasers.
So I will add that the Earth Elemental is temporarily restrained, so it's now ripped. Effectively, it's ripped free of the vines that you were using as Tempeg, so it is now free.
I wasn't sure if that was how it worked. Sick. All right. Nonetheless, I'm going to shoot it with lasers.
Yes.
The sun is a deadly
17
laser.
with fear, but I would like to, under these difficult circumstances, I will take a breath, still my mind with my fearless trait, and spend 2 stress to turn that into a hope.
Okay, so you are using Fearless. Mark 2 stress, and then you roll with Hope. Okay, 17 with Hope. If you roll the damage, I'll pop your Hope on for you.
Stressing myself out. There we go.
So you're now up to 3 Hope.
A mediocre 10 damage.
That is minor damage, but it rocks the Earth Elemental as you spear it with this primal magic from your short staff. Anything else, Gardy?
That's it. Cheers.
Okay, who's ready to go next? Griffin jogs up behind you, Gardy. Well done, mate. Who's ready now?
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Go, Cass. Go.
Cass is gonna aim with alimony.
Okay. It's currently rocked, and you're within range.
Cool.
Shoot that rock. Yeah.
Good shoot.
Your collective rolls have been on fire this season. Absolutely on fire.
We've had like 2 fears or something, like out of every roll we've had.
2 fears.
This is where it just progressively starts to go downhill.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cass, you have hit with Hope. So if you want to do the damage, I'll pop your Hope on.
Nice. 13.
13. That is exactly major damage. Describe to me how this happens.
Nice.
That's just another vaguely head-shaped shot.
If Cass can imagine it has a head, it's getting shot.
She is a woman of means and obviously a lot of withheld rage.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Shoot him in the face.
Okay, I mean, I can imagine as this bolt fires out the end of the pistol, it strikes the Earth Elemental with such force that it kind of effectively disintegrates into pebbles. And yeah, Abe, you have to sort of like bring your shield up as it just showers down bits of rock and boulder and vine and moss as they and as you kind of peer up to survey this damage, if this thing hadn't been throwing rocks at you or like swinging at you, you wouldn't have known that it existed with all of this natural debris now kind of littered around. Very, very good, Cass. Who wants to? Who's going up next? There is one flight of steps before you reach the shrine.
Is Abe going first? I mean, Cooper's also happy to leave if you want this time.
I mean, I'm always happy to.
Before we crack on,
yes,
I'll call Abe over briefly. So,
Let
me patch you up, big man.
What?
I'll patch you up using regeneration. I'll touch you and spend 3 hope. You can clear 1d4 hit points.
Okay. So Abe, you slide down to me, Guardy.
Oh, thank you, sir. 1d. Was it
1d4 hit points.
D4. Oh, that's d6, not that one. Nice.
Oh, back up to full.
Nice.
Back up to full.
And I'm once again hopeless.
That's all right because that nice little healing has inspired Abe, and Abe will tell you that. Oh, thanks very much. That's some good healing, that is. And you'll get 3 hope.
Oh, sick. Thanks.
You know what?
Oh, that was inspiring.
In the face of such blatant hope mongering, I'm going to spend a fear and
decimate that hope.
As so 3 more Triffids launch themselves over the ledge, like down the steps, and I think this time they're going to target Mr. Guardy. I've forgotten your surname.
Jarl, thank you very much.
Of course. So these 3 Triffids are going to do a group attack into Guardy, rolling an almighty 11 to hit.
Not quite.
Okay. In which case, their aim as they hold themselves through the air is kind of rocked slightly by the strong winds, and they're kind of blown slightly off course. Who wants to go next?
I mean, I'm happy to thwack them.
Go.
Get out that string.
I will give them. Oh no! Don't press that, Livy. That makes your screen go bad. There we go. 16.
16. That is a hit.
Nice.
I'll take the fear while I'm here.
Take the fear while you're here.
Takes you back up to 3. 10 damage.
Little baby. It's little baby 10.
Okay, so that's 2 of them. What did you do to these 2 poor Triffids?
Sliced them and diced them.
Julien.
Julien, yes, they are absolutely dauphinoise. Yeah, just a little slices. Just choo choo.
Okay. I will. So as it passes over to me, as you kind of swat away 2 of these Triffids, leaving just one left, that realistically is going to be dispatched by the remaining 4 of you with somewhat ease. You feel this pulse of energy erupt from the shrine just up ahead. and you see a bright light begin to emanate out from inside. Who's leading this charge?
I continue with what I've been doing.
Okay.
Let's go.
Cass is hot on your heels.
I think
She may be dragging Gaddy by the arm.
I will stop at the front of the shrine.
Uh-huh.
And then look to the others in a kind of, well, you wanted a beer, you can go in first. Kind of.
Okay, so Griffin, wait for me! He shouts as he skitters up behind you.
Got your ear, Griff.
He's being uncharacteristically quiet.
Yeah.
So
I like you like this. You stay like this.
as you ascend this final staircase to the top of the standing stones, sort of like off to your what is now your right, you can see the fight between the two titans is still ongoing. At this, like, the ground has stopped shaking because you've noticed that Pfizer has now taken flight with the large kind of crystalline wings that emerge from her back, and the fight has now become purely aerial as they're like meteors that are colliding into one another. And there's flashes of blue and orange light brightening the night sky before it reverts back to the dull purple spotted with kind of magenta lightning. The shrine in front of you has a rising staircase to a effectively what is like a 10-foot wide entrance that leads to this kind of domed area that is made of like natural stone. It's covered in kind of vines and vines, moss. Abe, it is exactly how you remember it from Once Upon a Time. I reckon if I do this real quick. Yeah, there you go. So you can see it now. And the dome of it, it's almost like a circular ziggurat in shape, where the roof seemingly kind of rises up in stages. Abe, is this why does this shrine, apart from the fact you could commune with the world spirits here, why is this shrine of great importance to Rice-Vilnar?
Well, I think it was of great importance to Rice-Vilnar. Maybe not so much anymore, as it was the main point of our sort of communing with the gods, and it's where we would leave offerings, where we would have ceremonies, weddings, partnerships, all this kind of stuff. So it was a very important place for us before everything happened.
Okay. In which case, as like with your height, you're able to see up the steps and inside, and within the shrine, you can, which is illuminated, you can see a solitary figure that is approximately as tall as a keeper, but doesn't have like the cloak, like the hooven feet, doesn't have the horns, but the figure appears to be interacting with the like the channeling stone in the center of the shrine. And the five of you, like this figure turns kind of almost silhouetted by the bright burning light coming out of the runic symbols on the floor. And the figure turns to regard you, and you acknowledge that it's it looks plant-like, similar to say the Triffids or the Wheeled Walker or the Gallidur that you have encountered on the way up, but there is something more intelligent behind its eyes as it peers at you. Gardy, as you peer at this creature, you get that feeling that this is the pack alpha. And as it turns to regard you, what appear to be a second set of arms, like sort of leaf-like wings, emerge from its back, like a beetle's wings, and then 2 additional arms unfurl from it, clutching bone-like daggers. And as it spies you, Abe, as it can see your head, who wants to go? Who's up first?
Go and cast, shoot it in the head. This one's got a head.
I mean, I can try and tangle him again, I guess, before he starts flapping about all over the shop.
I don't mind.
Might be good to plant it.
You know what? I'm going to be a real meanie.
What?
No.
Is he gonna attack us first, Dan?
I'm going to spend a fear.
Dan.
So mean.
And
you can't offer us something and then take it away, Dan.
You should have been quicker.
That's not fair.
We had plans.
It will spend a fear, so I do have to spend another fear to drop me to 1, and it will spawn 3 more Triffids to run at you.
Yeah, smash him into pieces.
How far is that? That's at close range. Okay, so as it turns to regard you, it lifts its hand, and you see like Garda, you sense this strong primal magic emanate from it as the leaves and foliage around the entrance of the temple seemingly gain sentience and turn into these Triffids, and you're wondering, like, this creature has just created sentient plant life from non-sentient plant life. But yeah, the 3 Triffids spawn and immediately take the spotlight, so they will all bundle into Abe and do a group attack. A 0 to hit.
Abe just looks at them. Like, really? We're doing this again?
Well, yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so that was him. So that's his turn done. Who's going next? Cass. Sounds like Cass was going next.
Cass will she'll sigh. And she'll step forward and she'll aim alimony at this thing. And she'll roll a 4.
With fear.
With fear.
Oh dear.
A 4 with fear. Okie dokie. I'm thinking that the Triffids actually did a really good job because they've killed Livy.
Yeah, I was going to say that we've gone. For everyone else.
She'll be back, I'm sure. Okay, so as you go to fire your pistol, what you don't expect is that this creature that's still looking at you, and he's almost got a slightly kind of leonine face, but like there's a casual flick of the wrist, and you watch as this vine that's kind of hanging over the entrance suddenly moves and intercepts your shot. And the creature turns back round, and you realize that it is doing something with this stone, with this communion stone. Would you like to move, Cass?
No, I think she'll stay where she is. She'll curse.
Stay where you is. Okay, who wants to jump in next?
I think, as we haven't got Abe, I think Cooper's also going to actually, you know what? Cooper will turn to Gardy and be like, "Can you restrain that chap like before?" And I shoot and do a tag team.
Give it a try, eh?
Okay, so who's paying the hope?
I can pay the hope. I have 3 hope.
You have 3. Okay, so Gardy, yeah, if you're going to try and lock this creature down, and then Cooper can shoot, so we'll need a spell check and
See if
spell
I
check
hit
and a
it.
shooty shot.
Okay, I'll shooty shot. Can I also add my lucky devil? Because I feel like if Cass is struggling to shoot, technically this feels like a lucky scenario. So I'll add +3 to my roll in a second.
Have you got the hope for it?
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Never mind. Well, I've got 16 anyway, so hopefully that's good.
Okay, 16 with fear. If Gardy rolls us a spell cast check for the tag team.
We still all right to do that with it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about the hope.
That's right. No, I've got 3 hope. I haven't got 4 hope to add to the experience, so that's my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going
Take my roll.
16 with fear.
Yeah.
Okay. As this creature turns back round, Gardy, you it looks like a trying to best describe it. It does look like a humanoid, like a 4-armed humanoid with these wings, who's infused with like primal energy, but isn't an amalgam of kind of natural bits like the earth elemental was. So where are your vines coming from?
I think I'm gonna tap into a little tiny fragment of the primal energy that's making up the circle around him, and they're just gonna burst straight from that energy and try and lock him in place from there.
Okay. In which case, a 16 with fear does hit. I will take my fear. Gardy and Coop, if you both roll your damage rolls, and we'll add them together.
Each +1.
So
18.
a grand total of 18 damage. Where are you aiming at it, Coop?
I'm taking it from Cass, a rulebook of Cass. I'm going to shoot him in the head.
Okay. So as you go to fire at the back of its head, as your bolt flies through, one of its like leaf-like wings moves up to intercept it. The leaf is kind of the bolt punches through the leaf, but it manages to catch it, much like a billowing cape worn by cavalry catch arrows. And the bolt, like, it does flinch slightly from the pain, but it takes minor damage. But yeah, it flinches slightly as it turns and like snarls slightly at you. I will take my turn. It will continue with its whatever it's doing. So it will take its turn, do its thing. The countdown drops to 4. Who wants to jump in next? Livy is very dead.
No, Livy's here.
Livy's
Livy's
here.
here? Oh, is she here? Oh, hello. Right, I'll bring her back in. Just real quick, does Livy want to take the next turn? And you'll have to tell me if she says yes or no.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay, hang on.
She says smash.
Okay, place that in. Okay. Right, Livy should be back momentarily. There she is. Hello.
Are these little triffies
The Triffids are still there. Cooper and Gardy have. So this thing's been restrained by your energies, Gardy, by your spells, and it's just like taking a bolt to one of its wings. Yeah. Hey, what are you doing?
Is it? You say it's still restrained. You say
it's restrained, but yeah, the way is blocked by these Triffids.
Okay. I will smash these Triffids down then, please.
Okie dokes.
So 20.
20 with hope. That is a hit.
Perfecto.
Are you going to horn?
Might as well.
13. Okay, so that's enough to take one, and then you manage to get enough damage to take out the others. So as you wreck the 3 Triffids, as you hack them down like a autumn's harvest, would you like to move?
I would like to move. I think Abe is not happy that he's, he hasn't been here for a while, but he's not happy that he's desecrating this shrine. So I would like to get as far as I can, please.
Mm-hmm.
If I go to far range, can I make an agility roll? Is that fine? I'm going to get right.
Yeah.
I'd like to get right up in his grill, please.
So if you roll your agility, and then that will dictate how quickly you go.
Let's.
So yeah, close will get you mostly of the way in, and then far will get you to him.
13.
13 with hope will be enough. So, Abe, you managed to make it all the way into the temple alongside this creature.
Can I see now I'm there? Can I see what it's doing?
So as you come charging in, it turns and you notice that it seems to be pulsing energy into the communion stone. And as you enter, it turns and looks at you. I'm going to, before anyone else goes, I'm going to spotlight again. It looks to you and you realize that whatever it's doing it's like a pulse of energy that's causing the communion stone to crack. And it's like it's trying to destroy it.
Ooh, what a bad boy.
And as it sees you coming, it will activate and it lifts up one of its hands and blasts you for an 18 to hit.
Double hits.
It deals 24 damage to you.
I'll take a couple of armor slots.
You have the charm. You have charm.
Oh, I have charm. I have my my little rune ward.
You can
That
spend
takes it down by 8. Is it?
1d8.
1d8.
Okay, yeah, so if you reduce that by 1, okay, you take 23 damage.
No worries. That's 20. That's still only major, so I'll just take 2 because of my being a guardian. I can just take 2 armor slots for that.
Okay.
I can't edit my sheet for some reason.
Okay, we'll sort that in a sec. So it blasts you and you shield yourself. Are you literally bringing your shield up and kind of deflecting it?
Shield is up. Shield is.
In which case, I think I will. It's only prudent if we turn the attention back to Abe now that you are in this creature's face, and it seems slightly kind of shocked, confused that you're not down and you're still running at him. So what do you do?
What would you think? I would like to smash, please. Dan. I will smash him right on his face.
Okay, a 22 hits.
11. But
Yeah.
I use my face.
16.
That's me. 16.
16. In which case, as you charge in and you kind of give this roaring headbutt, your head connects with its forehead, and it feels like you've just headbutted an oak tree. The creature kind of steps back a few steps and takes one step back, recoils, and then looks to you, and you realize you've dealt minor damage to it.
Oh, he's a bad boy. I just headbutted a rock. I headbutted a rock into pieces, and I can't even headbutt this little monkey boy.
I will spend my final fear, and as you headbutt it and it takes a step back and looks to you, it turns to it looks at the communion stone, which is now cracked and kind of leaking. It looks like it's leaking sap, if anything. It looks to the communion stone, then looks to you, and that this flash of frustration flitters across this creature's face, and it takes another step back, drops into a crouch, places its hands onto the ground, and you watch as its form, and it seemingly just falls apart into bits of stick, leaves, and like moss, and it's gone, leaving you alone with this broken communion stone.
Ah. He just turns around.
Who's up next?
I was going to shoot at it, but he's no longer there.
He is no longer there.
Yeah. Guess I'll.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I sense if it's still nearby with my ability to sense magic things? Or
so you can feel that. I guess it. Well, I'll tell you what. Right, if you roll me an instinct, I think it's got to be instinct.
Instinct. Yeah, that's my spellcast. It's a 12 with hope.
Okay. I would argue that you can't quite tell because the amount of primal energy that's happening around
with
you.
The two gods battling.
There's literally two world spirits just over there.
Making a noise.
So yeah, it's difficult to tell for the ambient energy that's surrounding you, but it looks like he's gone. Looks like he's kind of disapparated. Guardy, seems like you're up.
Sick. So this swirly whirly energy.
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's nice, good, clean, fresh primal stuff? Or does it have some of that purple weirdness swirling about with it?
I would also need an instinct check for you to try and gauge.
I shall gauge. Can I add my ancient wisdom?
You can.
Modifier?
You can for a hope.
Thank you.
If you want to do the roll, I'll deduct the hope for you.
Thank you very much. How much does that add?
Your ancient wisdom is +2.
12 with hope.
A 12 with hope. Perhaps worryingly, what you can feel, like you can feel the primal mana that courses through this place, probably exaggerated by the presence of the Titans not more than 100 meters away. And them, you can feel that their mana feels slightly sour, like it's blighted. But what you recognize with a 12, I mean, if you're, are you interact? are you going to interact with the item as you're doing this? Or are you getting a
yes,
finger
but
in the air?
the type of interaction depends on the vibe check.
Off the back of a 12, you can feel the blight, if you will, seems to be growing in strength.
Okay, well,
but it does, off the back of a hope, it seems like it's not kind of gone far enough that it's irreversible.
Cool. In that case, yeah, I'm going to try and use my renewal on the object.
Okay.
Given that it's all drippy, I'm hoping it's alive enough that healing will work.
Okay. So, how are you? So, if you're rolling renewal,
I usually wouldn't roll. I spend hope, and then it gives 1d4
yeah,
hit points.
Okay.
I have to do like a spellcast or something if you like.
What I'll do, let's say. Okay, so in front of you, just to paint the scene, so there's this communion stone that looks like a rough, jagged, like rune stone. And notably, you can see that on the two sides of it are two carvings, one of what you presume to be Pfizer and the other that you presume to be Barunan. However, this floating kind of rock is currently cracking under this like creeping energy that's seeping through it that creature seemingly has put into it. And that kind of growing blight sensation seems to be emanating from the communion stone, like it's being corrupted as we speak. So if you want to channel your like healing energy into it in an attempt to kind of purify it, who does anyone else want to join in, like tag team in on this, or are we happy to let Gardy?
I'm happy to help with
strength.
How can we assist?
I can hold it. Abe can try and push it back together again with
I would argue
pure
Cass
crushing force.
I think Cass might be
this quite obsessively. If there's some way she can use that to help,
yeah.
Can we all, like, as a team, hold this thing together?
Cooper will just watch in case there's more Triffids. This is not his MO, but
okay. I think it's easy. It's fair enough to say with your arcane sense, Cass, you can recognise that kind of arcane flux that you felt within, like the sap, for example, that seems to be the blight that is growing within this communion crystal. So perhaps with your knowledge of arcane and primal, with Gardy's kind of connection with the primal, if the two of you wanted to tag team, so Cass, if you wanted to tag team with Gardy, I would let you try and cleanse this thing together.
Team magic.
Add your experience, Georgia. You have 4 hope, so you can probably add.
If you've got an experience that helps, you can add that. Gardy, yeah. I think the way we'll wangle this, well, for both of you actually, the way we'll wangle this is, it's going to be a spell check test because you're using your renewal, Gardy. I'll give you advantage.
Oh, nice.
On your roll. So if both of you roll me a spell cast, Gardy with advantage, we'll take the highest and then see what happens.
I also have a researcher experience.
Do you feel that you've researched? Well, I think you probably would have researched arcane corruption.
You've researched this obsessively.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Go for researcher. So you'll get a +2. Gardy will get a +d6. Griffin will remember. You've got your rally dice. He says.
Thanks, Griff.
Thanks, Griff.
Remember, I'm rooting for you.
Isn't this exciting? Isn't this so exciting? What's happening?
Please make me your spellcast rolls.
Guide me through, Cass.
Okay, that's a 21.
Okay,
fear.
21 plus
And
d6 for the rally die if you want to use it.
Oh yes, of course I will use that. Let's make this 6.
So we've got
20 on hope.
20 with
That's
hope.
pretty
Do
sweet.
you want to use your rally dice, Gardy?
Might as well.
So we've got a 23 with fear. D6.
Amazing.
So a 23 with fear and a
25
24
with
with
fear.
With
hope.
hope. 24 with hope.
Okay,
April
so-
24.
Cass will burn up your 4 hope for the tag team and that. Okay, so between the two of you, Gardy, you get a hope.
Neat.
Wonderful. So, Cass, you're able to, as you focus, you're able to effectively kind of begin to isolate the arcane. Actually, between the two of you, describe to me how you cleanse this thing.
So I think like I'm channeling and healing into this, but I keep feeling the energy that I'm putting into it being fought back by the arcane in ways that I don't fully grasp.
Mhm.
And that's the point where Cass, I think, would probably comes in.
Headshots it.
Just takes a gun out and shoots the stone.
Been researching this for years.
Yeah, I think like yeah, I feel like it kind of feels like a magic eye picture that when you show me the way to look at it, it comes into focus and I'm able to sort of carve through and push out whatever the blight is that's on it.
Okay. In which case, as you focus and you fundamentally heal this communion stone, Cass, you feel that arcane stain kind of consumed by the primal mana, and soon it's just gone. It's no longer present in the communion stone. There's carvings on the stone of Pfizer and Barunan. They begin to glow in a, I can only say, healthier manner. But Gardy, at that moment, your head flicks back as you're directly interacting with this thing. You find yourself in communion with 2 world spirits simultaneously. And your mind is racked with feelings of unrepentant rage and fury. There is this animalistic, panicked drive to destroy and sunder everything around you. And it's this moment that you realize that the screaming you can hear in your head are the combined voices of the 2 titans. At which point you recognize that they are both infected with this arcane blight. And you think back and you recognize that in your glimpses of them as they've been fighting overhead, their bodies there were large blood red crystalline protrusions jutting from their bodies, which you would have more than likely been informed is a sign of arcane corruption. And at this moment, whilst you can commune with them and give them very basic commands, but you realize that these 2 are fundamentally warring beasts. What is your command to them? Your 1-word command.
War.
What? War, as in WAR?
That was my thinking noise, Dan. My thinking noise.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the Gardy heel turn.
Yes, you know that right now their clash, like all they want to be doing is clashing with one another, but their combined primal energies is what's causing this kind of cataclysmic weatherscape, which has only been happening within the last week or so. Yeah, you are able to give them one directive. What is it?
Home.
Okay. As you think of the concept of home, you feel that thought descend into the communion stone and then leak out through the earth, like like rivers underfoot. And the screaming that you hear from the two battling titans softens slightly at the concept of home. And you, like, as you kind of concentrate as hard as you can on these thoughts, you hear like yells, battle cries come from the two titans. And there is a staccato explosive sound from outside, and with a final crack of thunder, thunderstorm begins to subside.
Very nice, very nice.
And as the stone in your hands resonates with primal energy and then seemingly shuts off as the mana dissipates from it into the ground, the five of you are left in the shrine, and we'll take a quick break.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone, for watching this extended first half. We'll jump on a real quick 10-minute break. If you're enjoying it, make sure to hit the like button and vote for us in the Crit Awards. The description is in the link is in the description. We would love it. Today is the last day of voting. If you want to talk about maybe what's just happened, there's also the link to the Discord. Jump in during the break and say hello. If you are enjoying Daggerheart, you can buy the rulebook from TTRPG using our affiliate link. It won't cost you any extra, but we'll get some money, and that'd be fantastic. Right, I'll see you all in 10 minutes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's the rain.
What is that? Hello, internet. Hi, my name's DM Dan. Just gonna. Someone's exploding. It's Theo.
What have I done?
Theo's exploding.
Have you turned a fan on by any chance, Theo?
Nope.
Oh.
It might just be my laptop doing a thing.
To be fair, yes, it probably is.
Okay,
Or is your
it's fine.
laptop bad?
We've saved it. We've turned you down. We've turned you
But
down.
it was doing that before, so.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Hi, Internet. Hi, I'm DM Dan. We have Explorers of Elsewhere. Welcome back to the second part of episode 6 of the Titan Isles. I hope everyone's teed and weed. I've now got myself a nice cold drink, which I was dying for throughout, utterly bereft of the first half. Yes, thank you to everyone who's watching in YouTube land and in Twitch land. Apologies for not catching up with you during the fight, but yeah, there's been some good old chatter happening. We return to our five adventurers in a like in the shrine at the top of the standing stones that are sacred to the village, well, were once sacred to the village of Rice-Vilnar. And we immediately cut to Gardy as you sort of like stumble away from this communion stone, this large kind of jagged rock like it looks like a giant floating rock covered in kind of runic symbols, but you've noticed that the carvings of Pfizer and Burunam, the two titans, seemingly the mana has dissipated off the back of your command of home. And in this moment, the world suddenly seems significantly more quiet. There was a staccato kind of crack of energy from outside, but as the five of you turn to look out of the entrance to the shrine, you notice that the constant, the solid drumming of torrential rain has now stopped, seemingly in a moment. And yeah, the outside sounds calm. As you reel away from the communion stone, what's going on in your head, Gardy?
I think too much to really be dealing with at any one time. Partly he's just glad that it's been raining, so they can't see how sweaty he is at the moment. It's like there's something real terribly wrong. They're broken.
Broken how?
It's like a disease or an infection or a parasite. Something's raging through them.
Infecting a god?
I think those were mana crystals on them. I don't think those should be there.
No. No, I mean, how can something infect a god?
Coop, any ideas?
You're asking me? Jeez, you are lost.
Well,
like someone that might know something about infectious diseases.
If anyone wants to see what their knowledge of like arcane crystallization is like, please roll me a knowledge reaction check.
Knowledge.
So we've got 7, you got 6.
Oh, I mean, I might as well.
Professor Abe over here.
Yeah, he's a professor.
I'm so tempted to roll for the same reason.
I feel like you need
Yeah,
to.
go on,
Keith.
Keith.
Go on.
Yeah, maybe when I ask you, actually,
Really?
no.
That's right. I'm
Okay.
on
It
7
is-
as well.
It
That's
is
okay.
Professor Abe.
He's gonna put some
So-
little patches on his elbows.
Justify this, Dan.
Well, tell you what, Abe.
Yeah.
Well, I think Livy, as a Livy,
Yeah.
has some concept of like arcane corruption and crystallization from things
Mhm.
like tales.
Yes.
So I think I will ask you how Abe knows and what Abe knows about arcane crystallization in such a way that anyone in chat who's watching and has no idea what I'm talking about might have a better idea. Describe this as only Abe can.
Well,
Abe's playing.
Explain.
Where'd you get a pipe from?
Is that a tweed jacket?
gets it
You
all
always had
out.
the half moon spectacles.
Well, you see, I heard we talked about this in when I used to live around here before I lived in Weymouth. I see sometimes what happens is this it's like it gets
If you need the DM to tag team with you, Libby, I can spend some hope for you.
sometimes things happen, and yeah, you might need to explain.
Okay, right.
So I'll word it out as Abe.
So Abe explain. I guess.
See, it's not as easy as you think, Dan.
No, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's weird. I think it's the fact that it's Abe, and I'm thinking, what life experiences does Abe have that would
He's
support
got
this?
loads of life experiences. I don't know.
Maybe he ran
think-
into a crystallized creature in the woods.
Quite possibly. I mean, it's some either between that, like a creature that had, perhaps during the war, perhaps like during the eschaton, there were creatures that you saw, like these beautiful natural like creatures that roamed the mountains that would become the Titan Islands. And their bodies were just horrifically kind of disfigured and kind of overgrown with these hard, sharp, crystalline growths, usually in a myriad of colors, like depending on the type of arcane mana that was coursing through them. But the effects of the eschaton and the War of Dragons had just imbued these creatures with so much latent arcane mana that the mana itself was just solidifying within them, much like when you leave a jar of honey out and eventually it just becomes rock hard as it crystallizes from its core outwards.
So we've got to put them all in the microwave. Cool.
On a sunny windowsill.
A sunny windowsill, yeah. And you relate to Cass saying what can corrupt a god. I guess that's the main point of worry, is that normally it were mortals or beasts or whatnot that found themselves in afflicted by crystallization. But a being of actual primal mana, like a world spirit, to infect one of those, that is potentially like society, like that's a cataclysm.
Mhm.
Says Abe.
Says Abe. Just add in some yarps and narps throughout that, and then it will be Abe. Abe.
Who do you, between like Griffin is suspicious, is unusually quiet, but between the other four of you, who has seen, well, apart from Abe, because that's how he knows, who else has seen a victim of, or a recipient of crystallization?
Trying to work out who's more likely.
I suppose Guardy's travelled around quite a bit.
Yeah.
So there's I don't think he'd have run into like a person or anything, but he probably will have occasionally seen creatures that are infected, and they would have just kept their distance. There's probably some superstitions around them, I'd imagine.
Maybe plant life as a druid.
That's true.
Yeah, that would very much be the case. Cass and Cooper, how much time do you reckon the two of you have spent in the city of Avermore?
I think
the capital of elsewhere, if you will.
Yeah, I think Cass has probably spent an amount of time there since she became an explorer, and I imagine they came in and out of it. Or would they have? She's definitely been there recently.
So Avermore wasn't really a thing before the war, or would you say it was?
Avermore, it was a
question.
city that existed, but it only became the sort of like the capital hub of the rediscovered world post-war, post-rediscovery, when it started building the portals to the various outposts.
I mean, they were all over the shop when they were together. They travelled all over what was the land before it was all split. So I feasibly say they at least like stayed in it a few times before the eschaton.
Yeah.
In which case, I think perhaps it would be you, Cass, and quite possibly digging into your background as like a hardcore researcher.
Oh yeah, if it's anything to do with magic, she's been on it.
Sure. In which case, the affliction of crystallization has long been understood to be irreversible. Once arcane mana begins crystallizing within your body and then starts kind of taking over parts of your body, that's it. That's like you don't come back from that. And for a vast majority of people, it becomes a bit of a death sentence. There is speculation that if someone didn't pass on as a result of crystallization, they might eventually become crystalline. However, there is a rather unusual kind of, I guess it's what you could call it, a research company within Avermore. It's some of their findings are refuted, and they don't seem to have a lot of kind of official backing because of the ideas that are coming out of this little kind of research hub. But the leader, you're not 100% sure of her name, but like you're led to believe that she is a Terran sprite who claims that she was once a victim of crystallization and then managed to revert it. And you've heard the speculation, oh, maybe that's because she's a Terran sprite, maybe it's because of this, but there are a number of academics that kind of like ruffle their moustaches and like wibble their jowls and saying, oh no, it's certainly not reversible. But what's curious about that little research hub is this little Terran sprite, like her claim that crystallization is reversible is not in fact one of the more is one of the less outlandish things that her research center is currently working on.
I feel like, given her family history and the many tracks of research Cass herself has gone down, this place is entirely within her wheelhouse.
Okay, in which case, if it's something that you would have been involved with, you do know the sprite's name. It's this rather brash and very kind of frenetically busy Terran sprite woman called Galena Orpiment.
Galena.
And like her workshop is a hazard to health in general, because there's just so much crazy stuff going on in there.
She likes how it's organized, Dan.
You find everything just fine.
And like a lot of the workshop space recently has been dedicated to reverse engineering this curious the term being used is golem, but this large kind of metal suit wearing, like, it's a giant, basically a giant walking suit. It looks a bit like a deep sea diving suit, but apparently it arrived with the emergence of Alicia, and the spirit that is locked within this suit claims she is a keeper. And they're trying to like reverse engineer it to see, can we do this ethically / unethically, as only Galena Orpiment is famous for. Yeah, so there's this very kind of weird and wacky theorist in Avamore that says that crystallization can be reversed, but otherwise normally it's other people assume it's irreversible, but it's never infected a world spirit.
Cass relays this to the group with an emphasis on it's never infected a world spirit.
Well, that's interesting and all, but, you know, a little Terran sprite, they're like, wow, like this big? You see that guy? I don't know, that's a lot of reversing to be reversed.
There's got to be some way of, I don't know, amplifying it.
I think we saw it anyway. Guardy said, go home, and they've gone home.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Abe, but we have not sorted it. It remains very much unsorted.
Well, the rain stopped. There's no purple clouds in the sky, and they've stopped fighting. I don't know. I think we've done as best as we could. Maybe somebody else should take over from here.
A relatively decent chance that this island will either explode or sink into the ocean at some point in the future.
And I still haven't gotten a chance to talk to them.
Well, Guardy did, so some of us did.
Doesn't seem like they're feeling very chatty.
Oh.
It's like trying to just separate two fighting dogs.
What I found with dogs, anyway, you just separate them for a couple of days.
And surely there's no real difference between a dog and a god, because you just heard
switch the names around.
Oh my god.
The old switcheroo.
Professor Abe is on the case.
What's the true way to finish this campaign after all?
I can only imagine Professor Abe's pipe switches to a little bubble pipe.
Ronan.
There he is.
So, Cooper has been somewhat quiet.
Yep.
Given everything that Cooper has heard, what do you think the next stage of the plan is? Or what's the next steps?
I mean, he's a bit, he had no idea that this was going to be as mad as this is. He thought he was literally going to be dropping them off and then going back on the ship after he did his stuff. And now he's realizing his stuff might actually be involved with their stuff, and their stuff is nuts. He doesn't really know what he's really doing. So, apart from my cat trying to drink my very cold drink, thank you, Percy. It's really not a good time. Not a good time.
It's the best time. It's RP time.
You like this, don't you? I think he's taking this all in and feeling just a little bit overwhelmed. And there's I think Cass, having known him better, can just see he doesn't really know what he's doing. And I think he's going to try and cover it with I mean, at the end of the day, guys, is this really our problem? Like, why are we talking to the gods anyway? If it, I'm kind of with Abe at this point. I've got to be honest, I'm with Abe at this point. Like, really?
The look Cass shoots him across this little temple could fire holes into rock.
And she is very good at shooting holes through people's heads.
Very good at shooting holes into things.
He probably backtracks and digs himself a bigger hole. By just being like, can we just look, we've had a very not great time. What time of the day is it, Dan? At this point, can we tell now? It's not stormy.
So as you emerge out of the shrine onto the top of the standing stones, the sight that you see, I mean, to use the term, it is day and night. You've emerged into a different world from the one that you entered from. The heavy, dark, thunder clouds that blotted out the sun have almost immediately kind of dissipated, and you quickly realized that it must have been the presence of the two titans in proximity to one another and their clashing energies creating this kind of, weather cataclysm. But now the sun is warm on your face as you look up at it. Everything is wet and things are dripping, but it just the wetness simply reflects the sunlight that you haven't seen since you arrived on the island, and the island itself looks like it's literally glistening. It's about midday. So you arrive first thing in the morning. You've traveled for a couple of hours. You got cooped up in the village. You came up here, no more than 6 hours on the island. A lot has happened in those 6 hours.
Yeah, which Cooper will kind of reiterate of we have not properly stopped. I know we had some food with Abe's old mates, but that's not really the same as stopping and reflecting and figuring out what we're supposed to be doing. I propose that we find somewhere safe to sit and discuss next steps so that, we figure out what's going on properly without, in the heat of the moment, considering everything that's going on. Because there's a lot that's obviously happened. And this isn't really my rodeo. Usually I just get told what to do. So if you really know what you want to do, fine. But I'm just here to shoot things with a crossbow. So that's what I'm going to do. If you need me to do that, I will do that. Or I'll find us a safe place to rest. Okay?
What's Gardy making of it? What does Gardy think the next step should be?
Just say, Cooper, if you care about anyone on that little island, anyone here, we need your help. We need you to buy in to help. Because all of that could be gone.
I'm not saying I don't want to help. I just, it's very hard to understand exactly what it is where we look at us. We are little, apart from Abe, people who apparently are going to try and fix a god from being infected. What are we supposed to do about that?
Two gods. Got to fix 2
Got a
guards
point.
been infected. Not
That's
even
right, that's
one.
2, not 1. That's 2.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Griffin steps forward, looking slightly sheepish, I guess, and he turns to the two of you, Cass and Gardy. You two are just like, you're like explorers, though, right?
Yes.
That's what it says in the badge.
Well, so surely, you know, from what I'm not an explorer, so I don't know exactly, but from what I understand, I mean, the explorers all just kind of help each other out, and the explorers, I mean, they've got some of the most powerful mages in all of elsewhere, right? Like it's them that made up the explorers. So I mean, you're all explorers, so clearly you're all just like the best of buddies. So perhaps we just have to go back to Avonmore and speak to them and get them to come sort this out. Because I mean, Cooper's right. I mean, you know, I mean, we're great and all, but I don't know if we're great enough to stop 2 gods. Maybe 1 god, but not 2 gods.
No, we won't. We can't sort this out ourselves,
But we're not.
we can find someone who can.
I mean, we're not just going to hand this over to someone else. I'm not going to just hand this over to someone else. If some of us want to run away, and she looks directly at Cooper, they are absolutely welcome to do so, but I'm not doing that.
I mean, we could always go back, get help, come with them, and then be telling them be like showing them directions to go in, you know, and telling them where the good places to eat are, and you know, telling them about all the nice people in that village, in Abe's village. I mean, we could be their guides, kind of thing, couldn't we? So we still get some of the glory, but they can be doing all the dangerous stuff, and then we can get the glory.
As long as they can come with us. And they don't.
Yeah, maybe there's more of an advisory role for us on this project.
It's clear we know the most about what's happening.
I think I know the most.
Sorry.
Inexplicably, that does seem to be true.
Yes, I am perplexed about that.
Well, you know, layers, isn't it?
Eggs are like onions.
They are.
He's a man of
Delicious.
hidden depths.
Right, so I guess we go. We either set up camp or maybe we find our way home.
Well,
have a good night's sleep and then tackle this.
Well, we know that the pirates are kind of loitering around, ready to give us a lift back. I mean, I hope they are. I hope Ungrin is going to come pick us up. But maybe, yeah, if we head back to the beach and I don't know, do you flag a ship down? Do you flag? Yeah, basically, we get them to pick us up. We take us back to Dawlishal and then go from there. Because we can go to Avonmore from Dawlishal.
We can go through the portal. That's how we got here.
Well, if the storm stops, we've still got those little rowboats and just row back. It's only like 5-6 miles, isn't it?
It's actually a fair point.
That's we
because you paused one of those boats, didn't you? You kept it in time and space.
Didn't your boat explode though, Abe?
Yeah, well, it might have to share someone else's, or...
Wait, what's the biggest flying animal that Gardy can turn into?
Let me consult my druid book.
Bonus question, can we ride him?
Griffin will just sort of like nod and go, oh yeah, we got the rowboats. I mean, I time locked mine on the shore, so as long as we didn't, have a rest for a short period of time, then the boat's still going to be there. And then he smiles at you.
6 hours, haven't we? We've just been straight through.
He smiles at you as you all cast your mind back to the short rest that you took at the village.
Yeah, but there was more than... My boat got smashed.
Yeah.
One was in a time lock.
Yeah.
And there was
my one.
There was another one, wasn't there?
Wasn't it?
I'm sure the 5 of us could fit on one rowboat, right?
Yeah. Well, if Guardy
Maybe
turns
old,
into
like,
a
pushing
fish,
it.
I
Like
could
a-
be a
like a-
fish.
that's one down.
Tie me onto the front. I'll add a bit of pull. The rest of you can just kind of stack.
What is the plan, ladies and gents? Are we heading back? Are you, if nothing else, heading back to the shore to either get rowboats
Yes.
back?
We
or
suppose we're
flag
heading
them?
back to the shore, see what
Yeah,
Heading back
yeah.
to the shore.
/
Yes.
play of rowboat.
I mean, Chris has suggested we wrangle some sea turtles.
It could work.
Tie them
We've got
together.
one rowboat, 2
If
sea
it works for Jack
turtles.
Sparrow, it'll work
Put
for
them
us.
up. We use them as little jet skis
Amazing.
on the back of the boat.
Perfect. And you don't have to get 2 for all of you because Guardy can become a sea turtle.
Brilliant.
I want to ride
Job's
the
good.
sea turtle.
As a sea turtle.
Right, that's the plan then. Let's get back home.
In which case, as you make your way back to, so where are you currently? So let's have a quick little gander at the map. So you are currently, oh, that's not loading. Okay, never mind. So you are, oh, there we are. So yeah, the 5 of you are basically around pretty much where Griffin's token is. So let me stack you all up again. So yeah, it's going to take you, it's not that long, it's not that far to get back to the shore. So 7, yeah, it's about 11 miles back to the coast. So it won't take you all that long in the grand scheme of things. And arguably, like moving will be significantly quicker now that the weather isn't absolutely heinous. So yeah, you can certainly, if let's say it's 1 p.m, you can be back on the coastline by 4 p.m. Because you can also just follow the river.
Just follow the river down. Yeah.
Follow the river down. So if the 5 of you are doing that, so you're back on the shore by about 4 o'clock. So we'll move you along there. As you're going, which conversation between 2 of you are we focusing in on? Just a little kind of side glance of a conversation as you're all walking along. Like 2 of you drop behind the other 3 to get a little bit of privacy so you can natter.
I was going to suggest that Cooper needs to talk to Cass at some point, because I haven't really talked yet.
And she is absolutely blanking him after that conversation.
Yeah.
She is just.
It's fair. It's fair. Well, he's going to try.
He can
anyway.
certainly try.
Look, I'm really sorry for what I said. This is not how I was expecting any of the last couple of days to go, and it's a bit overwhelming. And
Right, Cooper? It's exactly what I expected of you.
great.
See, some people just don't really change.
I think he finds that really hard, and I think he tries to like steel himself. And it's like, you know what? Fine. I was gonna give you something. I'll give it to you anyway. A peace offering, at least. And he'll pull out the spear tip that he stole from Abe's village. This is one of the kind of marble things that we were talking about, the weird Anyway, her hammer was made of it. It seems to be part of the mountain god thing. I thought you might be interested. A piece of please. I can at least try. Let me try.
Tries to continue blanking him, but it is very clear that he knows how to give her gifts, and she is very interested. So she sort of reaches out and kind of like takes it as thanks.
It's the least I could do.
Thanks for coming up here with us, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I do need to be here, but I don't really know why. A job. I wasn't given many of the details, but I'll figure it out when we know what we're doing.
Well, that's what you're always around for, isn't it, Cooper? And she kind of like, she claps him slightly on the arm. Not getting any of the details.
Great. Thanks, Cass.
The five of you reach the shore, and it's certainly a different. Again, it's a completely different scene from the one that you arrived at. The open air of the coast is a welcome reprieve from walking through like the dense forest, following this river down towards the southern coast. Now that the heat and the sun is not being obscured by the oppressive like thunderstorms, but perhaps signaled by the sudden like dissipation of adverse weather, you can see that on the horizon, like not far off from the coast, is the ship that you sailed in on. Bumholes, I've forgotten what we called it. The Intrepid.
Oh, yeah, was it the Intrepid?
It's just the Intrepid.
The Intrepid
I think
something.
so.
The
No,
Intrepid
just the
something.
Intrepid. Pretty sure it's the Intrepid.
Just the Intrepid, full stop.
Just the Intrepid.
Yeah. Well, you see Boss Ungren's ship, the Intrepid. And
there's a smear of paint after it there.
Yes, yes.
Might be something on there.
And luckily, you see, Griffin finds his raft, his rowboat, has not dashed itself across the rocks in like after the time lock stopped. But yeah, there are two rowboats kind of bobbing gently in the water, which will be enough to ferry the five of you back to Ungren's ship.
Who's the smallest?
Gaddy, I think.
Sitting on Abe's knee then. Come on.
Yeah, all right.
When you're sailing back, it's a relatively short journey from the coast to Dawlishal. As you're sailing back to the expedition town, is there a conversation that sparks up between Abe and someone, or Gardy and someone, or Abe and Gardy?
Well, we're cuddling close, so we might as well.
We're pretty close. I think.
So this will be like when you're on Ungren's ship.
On Ungren's ship.
Oh, okay.
Not us rowing.
Regrettably, I am no longer sitting on your knee.
Oh.
I mean, you still could be.
No, we're not there yet.
Not quite. I think.
Oh, maybe I'm sharing that smoke that I owe you.
Yep. I think we've managed to get a flint off of one of the pirates. I'm sure. I think it would be. I think Abe's a bit of a secret sort of gossiper. I think he'll be quite interested in what's. Do you know what's? When I got I got questions. I got quite a lot of questions.
Can't promise I have answers.
Well, one, what is the deal between those two?
Now that is an easier question than I was expecting.
I don't get it. Like they hate each other, or they're kind of like they got this weird energy, you know? They're like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Like
You know they're exes, right?
oh, well that makes a lot more sense.
There you go. So, in my people, when married couples break up, you have a burning ceremony. You take all some items that you both treasure together.
Yeah.
And you burn those, and you cancel out your relationship with each other. You go from fresh, as though you've never met each other before.
Sounds like they need one of those then.
It seems like that works really well now that I've seen the alternative.
Yeah, we think they need to do something, don't they?
Yeah, I think something starting with F one with the other. Maybe a fight, maybe not.
Well, yeah, I don't know. We gotta get something out of their system, that's for sure.
That's the one.
Right, second question. Do you know much about the cards? Like, you seem to know quite a lot.
That's
it's like you done. Let's just like it's back home, wherever home is.
That's a much harder one. I was always told stories when I was growing up, but they were always sort of, that we were taught that the world spirits were watching us and that they were always there looking after us, but it was always stories, really. And then, found out at the same time everyone else did, really, that a lot more real than we thought. And that was very comforting until about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, well,
I mean, we were talking about purpose before, and whether we're just sort of drifting through things or trying to get stuff. What do you do when the thing that's your purpose is so different? Is being damaged? I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm feeling pretty lost.
well, I mean, you just gotta try and try and fix it. I mean, if that's your purpose, is to know about these spirits, and the spirits are in trouble, maybe that's your purpose. You know?
I always thought that. I came here so that they could help us, but how are we meant to help them? Yeah.
I tell you what, you did a bloody great big good job when you talked to them that time. I didn't. You managed to get them to split up and go home. That's not what normal. I couldn't imagine doing that. I wouldn't know how to say that in the time period. I would have just said like, "Oh, stop fighting." You had the brains to
That's
say,
pretty much
go home.
It's just because I've spent a lot of time with animals, and they feel like scared animals, and because they're afraid, getting them to go home, getting them to hide seemed like the best option. I think if I asked them to calm down, well, I mean, how do you feel when someone asks you to calm down?
Yeah, no, not great. I don't like nobody telling me nothing.
Damn right.
But I mean, I don't know. When I used to live in the commune, we're always told that they was looking after us, and when they came out, they did help, didn't they? They kind of put everything back right again. So maybe we gotta get them back to that state. I don't think they're bad.
Maybe it's our turn.
Ah, maybe. Or somebody
They've
else's
saved
turn.
us.
Maybe not my turn. Maybe somebody else's turn. But, you know.
I mean, what, Abe? If we hadn't had you with us back there, we'd have been killed by trees within about 6 seconds.
Oh, yeah, I know how to chop down a tree, that's for sure.
Damn right. Well, I mean, if you'll stick with us, just till we get this sorted, it'd be an honour. And without meaning to pry at all, maybe it'd help you get a little bit closer to your girl again.
I don't know. She don't want to know me, yes. She don't want to know nothing.
We'll see. I think we both have a pretty impossible task. I'll try and fix a relationship with the gods. You try and fix a relationship with your pissed off girl.
I got more hope for the gods, to be honest, but there you go.
Well,
we'll give it a go.
Here's to us, eh?
As the two of you kind of cheers one another, where do we find Cooper on the ship?
I think he's going to seek out Enismera, because I'm assuming she's still on the ship, and he seems like, I think the conversation with Cass has certainly put the wind up him a bit.
In which case, where are you when you find out she is not on the ship?
Oh my god.
I think I've gone looking,
Uh-huh.
and I've ended up back on, like, the bow of the ship after having searched everywhere. Does someone tell me, or do I just figure it out for myself?
Well, I imagine that you wouldn't have found her from your looks, from your searching. So I guess who are you interrogating, for want of a better word? Who's confirmed it to you?
Is it our little friend with the rat?
Melusina. Okay.
Yeah, let's ask Melusina, because I like them. They're cool. I'm not interrogating her. She's the last person.
You've realised, you've realised that she's not on the ship because Melusina has done an absolutely awful job of lying about it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, what was she on the ship? I don't know if she was. Actually, she says, as she's sort of like, and you see it, her tell seems to be the ferocity with which she strokes this panicking rat that she's got in her hand seems to increase to the point where she's almost smacking it on the head in frantic strokes.
Kid, stop lying to me. Is she here or is she not here?
The Majani
So if
girl,
she's avoiding me, that's fine. But if she's not here,
the Majani girl goes like blushes furiously. No, she's not on the ship. Boss Ungriner doesn't really tell us a lot of stuff, but after we dropped you lot off, we sailed around to one of our other ports and she rode onto the shore.
she went on to one of the other parts of the island.
Yeah.
Do you mind telling me where?
She describes a cove. So where you landed, basically west. If you head west along the coast, so fundamentally the Intrepid that you're on dropped you off, and then like hugs the coast, seemingly dropped off Elismira, like she rode off, and then the boat came back to fetch you lot. He doesn't tell us nothing really. I guess that's privilege between captains, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. A bit of relief, actually. Anyway, okay, this is weird, but okay. Thank you for being honest with me. Eventually.
Melisina like blushes again and goes like she starts hugging this rat like a security blanket, and you can just see this rat's like 4 legs just out in a star shape, just as it's trying to extricate itself from her grip. Before long, the 5 of you hear the cries from the crow's nest overhead, and the Intrepid begins like raising its sails to slow itself down as it navigates into the docks on the northeastern edge of Dawlishal, as it pulls into dockside. And before you know it, like the sun is beginning to set over the horizon, you can already hear like a fair amount of chatter from people who are like happy that everything seems to be getting better on the island, like on the mainland. But between the 5 of you, where's your first port of call as you emerge out onto the docks? Like, are you going to a place? Are you speaking to a person? Just to remind you, so you know, you've got Mayor Coraline at the mayor's office. You've got Captain Faniel Hastings over at Hastings Hall. Montague at the Harbour Master's offices. Matteo at the Windward Peregrine, if you wanted to speak to him. Shrine Tender Shayla. Elismira is not in the picture. Boss Ungrinner, he's busy sorting out the ship. Yeah, is there anyone you're heading to report news?
Well, I mean, do we want to wrap things up with Boss Ungrinner? I mean, I feel like we should probably talk to him.
Or is he busy?
Yeah,
is he busy?
He's busy sort of like sorting out ship stuff. He'll be free in the evening, but for now, like while time is somewhat of the essence. Because you know, by the sounds of it, your plan will be to head to Portal Plaza eventually, to head back to Avonmore, like to portal back to Avonmore. But yeah, is there anyone in Dawlishal that you want to give us like a situation update to?
I mean, happy to talk to the Harbour Master. Rub in his face.
We should probably talk to the mayor as well and just let him know, like, the sitch.
Sure. Okay. In which case, tell you what, we'll 2 birds with 1 stone. As the 5 of you make your way down the Noble's Knot from the northeastern corner of Dawlishal down towards the mayor's office, which is relatively near the Portal Plaza. As you approach, you notice that the mayor is actually stood outside her office, handily talking to Montague, who seems to be giving her an update about the change of kind of weather situations around the island. And she looks up to see the 5 of you approaching, and you have to you're sort of like picking your way through the evening crowds as like the tourists are getting ready to head to sort of like restaurants or gambling dens or like drinking establishments, or, you know, just to enjoy the pleasures of Dawlishal, whilst you're watching the workers either coming home from a day of work or leaving to start an evening of work. And yeah, this Laravar woman waves a hand to you as you approach, and speak of the dragons and they shall appear, she says as the 5 of you approach. Montague tells me here that that there is some positive news, and perhaps everything went well on the island.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Well, we got over there fine. Not from any of his help. Went through the storm, no problem. Went over there, stopped the storm. So, thanks. You could now, get your boats out again.
Montague shuffles his feet slightly and yes, I thank you for all of your work. Whilst I not overly thrilled that you took the risk of sailing out into the storm in the condition it was in, we he says, kind of waving his hand between him and the mayor, we are very pleased that you've managed to restore Dawlishal to a sense of normality. Thank you very much. Mayor, he says, and sort of retreats behind her. Do you know what was causing the storm?
Good. Look at the other guys.
Yeah, I'll lean round. And there's something wrong with the world spirits. And
come again?
There are, of the world spirits on the island.
Yes.
There's something terribly wrong with them. We think some sort of crystalline infection. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we saw it.
This is not good news, she says.
It may be worth making the town ready for evacuation in the event that things do go downhill. We don't know what the situation is. We don't know if or when it'll turn.
The mayor, you notice this, at first the mayor's face is one of shock and some, seemingly disbelief, and then there's something that seemingly switches inside her, and her face becomes one of an ironclad, almost grim resolve, and she nods and she turns to Montague. Speak with the captain. We may need to make some emergency preparations. We might need to ferry everyone back through the portal to Avonmore until this situation is resolved. Make sure that everyone's ready. I'm sure it won't come to that, but as our good friend here, Gardy, says, it would be good to be prepared. Whilst she kind of excuses herself and starts kind of giving more instructions to Montague, and Cooper, you notice that peering out from around one of the street corners, just curiously watching you, is this little green face, partly disguised under this bob cut ginger hair, and you see Hopeless Aileen looking at you, and when she catches your eye, she gives you a little wave.
Very small wave back.
She looks to you. Just for anyone who can't remember who Hopeless Aileen is, there she is. So as she looks to you, she you see her point at you, and then point at Cass, and then she gives you this little thumbs up and a hopeful smile. Huh?
I think Cooper will follow the line of sight. Cass is obviously busy focusing on the actual thing that's happening in the room. And Cass will be like, Keeper will kind of go, just
you see like Aileen, like her resolve falters slightly, like her eyebrows kind of go into one of a sympathetic look, and then she sort of like perks herself back up, and then you see her pull a little heart symbol at you and like giddily smile at you. And then as she's doing that, like you're kind of distracted, as she does that, you hear this loud bellowing horn seemingly coming from the waters, like the Dawlishal dockside. And Mayor Coraline's head flicks up at the sound of this horn. And perhaps for none of you might know what this horn's for, apart from perhaps you, Abe. And you all watch as Coraline's face, like the colour drains from her face, and she looks to Montague, and you hear a second time bellow from the dockside. And as you look around, you see that there are guards kind of emerging from alleyways and like buildings onto the street, and they're looking around left and right, looking to one another, wondering what's happening. And you hear the shinking of armor as Captain Nathaniel comes running out from the plaza behind the mayor's office, like desperately sort of like trying to buckle one of his shoulder plate pads on. And Coraline looks to him. What is it? What is it? She shouts. And Nathaniel looks around to the five of you, to Coraline, and I don't know. And as the horn bellows a third time, you start to hear a bit of a clamour and a commotion coming from the streets to the north. And you watch as a Dawlishal guard barrels round a corner onto the street, heading towards you at this junction on Noble's Knot, shouting, "A ship! A black ship! It's on approach!" And you hear the horn bellow a fourth time, and you acknowledge that the horn is sounded in the event of an attack. And as the mayor and the captain of the guard look to one another and then look to the five of you, the commotion that you can hear over the rooftops only gets louder. And you suddenly hear what sounds like an almighty crash. The sound of splintering wood, the sound of screaming people. And as Coraline looks to you, and she looks to Montague, and it would seem that as she is as confused as you are as to what's happening, in the event of an attack on Dawlishal, we'll call it there.
It's the Popo.
The Wild Spirit Police have come. Gosh. Oh,
Elsewhere.
no.
In Elsewhere.
Whoa.
The sounds of the sea whipping past him reverberate through the helmet of the black armored figure. A shock of blood red hair creeping out of the bottom of the helm. And as he stands on a commanding position on the deck of his black armored vessel, he clutches the axe in his hand, and it glows a sickly green under his grip. As he turns to his two companions, one stood stoically leaning on her shield, the second floating gently alongside him. He bellows to his crew, brace for impact. And the prow of his black ship barrels into the docks of Dawlishal and begins tearing a hole through the wooden decking until it finally collides with the stonework of the waters. And as the gangplanks fall down and the assault ramp at the front of the ship falls open, there is a jubilant cry as the marauders begin pouring into the streets. And hefting the axe over his shoulder, the armored figure begins marching on Dawlishal. Congratulations, everyone, on completing episode 6. You did it! You made it to the Act 1 finale.
Finish, we get rid of one problem and another one arrives.
Exactly.
Good thing that we went back home for the pirate attack.
Yes, excellent.
Really good timing. We didn't decide to stay on the island.
No, having a rest before this happened would have been terrible.
Yeah.
We just watch it happen from a distance.
Yeah.
Like, oh, something's happened over there.
Yeah, got some marshmallows going. We're like, that seems bad. Oh well.
Speaking of rest, did we potentially have rest on the ship? Short rest on the ship?
We'll figure it out. We'll see how generous I'm feeling. But yes, maybe.
Did we level up on the ship?
No. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for playing. We will have Nate back with us next week for the Act 1 finale, which is shaping up to be a bit of a slobber knocker. So yes, we'll see how that pans out, and maybe we'll finally get to find out who this mysterious armored figure is, who I've got a picture of somewhere that I'll click through and try and find. Is that him? Yeah, there he is. There he is. We'll just pop him in the chat just so you can all look at him. Yes.
Howdy.
So perhaps we'll figure out who this chap is, who we saw also watching The World Spirits. If you are enjoying this, please consider hitting the like button on YouTube, or I don't know, the equivalent of a like button on Twitch. I can't see one off the top of my head. But also subscribe or follow us on the relevant platforms. If you want to get more involved in Elsewhere, you should absolutely join our Discord, which is free to join and has more sort of like additional art that we'll be doing. There'll be chatter, there'll be theories. It's all just a good community space to be in. And if you are really appreciating what we do, becoming a member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon is absolutely amazing. It starts at £2 a month. There's a £5 a month tier as well. But doing so will get you access to members-only content, like our behind the scenes, like player chats that we'll be doing every so often, and yeah, other content that we do, like supplementary content that we do. If you slobber knocker, it's a fantastic word, Mark. If you appreciate the use of the word slobber knocker, or just what we've done, we are in the closing hours of the Crit Awards nominations. So in the description below is a link to the voting form. We are up for best Darrington Press GM for our Tales from Elsewhere series. We would it doesn't cost anything to vote. We would absolutely love your vote of approval to maybe win a Crit Award. Finally, if you enjoyed Daggerheart, we have an affiliate link down below with DriveThruRPG, so you can treat yourself to the digital rules from DriveThruRPG. It doesn't cost you any extra, but we will get a little bit of a kickback. So yeah, again, that massively supports the channel. So, with all that said, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for playing. I'm going to start the outro music. And we will see you next Monday for the Act 1 finale.
It'll be a slobber knocker.
A real slobber knocker. Catch you later, everyone. Bye.
Bye.